A perceived lack of time is still the number one reason why people do not engage in any exercise program. Time fortunately does not need to be a barrier if you can get a little creative with how you organize your exercises. An efficient and highly effective way to cut your sessions in roughly half the time is by doing reciprocal superset training. Compared to traditional multi-set resistance training where you do sets for one exercise at a time with rest in between each set before moving on to the next exercise, reciprocal superset training allows you to perform twice the work in half the time by doing 2 sets back-to-back of opposing muscle groups with little to minimal rest in between sets. An example of a reciprocal superset for an upper body workout would be performing a set of 12 rows targeting your back, then immediately going into a set of 12 push-ups to target your chest, followed by a rest period like how I'm demonstrating now. This style of superset is focused on working agonist and antagonist muscles or pushing and pulling movements together in order to trim down workout time without having to sacrifice total volume. If you were to do reciprocal supersets for a lower body day, an example could look similar to the upper push-pull separation. An example could look like a goblet squat, which is a lower body push superset, with a dumbbell Romanian deadlift, a lower body pulling movement. Reciprocal supersets are also a great option if you prefer to train total body. Setting up your supersets by combining an upper push-pull exercise with a lower push-pull exercise is one way to go. Another choice would be to complete your supersets of upper body push-pull and then continue your lower body push-pull exercises once those are done. There's multiple ways to set up your reciprocal supersets, so play around with them until you figure out what style you enjoy the most. There are some variables to consider if you decide to use reciprocal supersets that will maximize the effectiveness of your workout. Things to consider are your exercise selection, frequency, load, rest intervals, and reps in reserve. Selecting exercises that target opposing muscle groups is the only requirement, as this will allow you to perform the supersets without fatiguing the muscles early and sacrificing volume. The type of exercises you select can either be compound or isolation exercises. So listen to your body when it comes to combining bigger compound exercises together, like a squat with a deadlift. If you find a pairing of 2 exercises is difficult to superset, then it may be better to make one a compound exercise and the other an isolation exercise to spare your nervous system a bit. In terms of frequency, reciprocal superset training can be utilized for all or some of your exercises in a session. If increases in size and strength are your goal, then aiming to work each muscle group anywhere from 1 to 6 times per week is preferred depending on your training age and experience. Obviously, the more trained you are, the more frequency you'll need to stimulate muscle growth and strength. The load you choose for reciprocal supersets will depend on your current goal, but if the purpose is to cut down exercise time while increasing strength and or muscle size, then keeping your sets within 6 to 15 reps is recommended. Going above this may lead to longer sessions, and going below will require longer rest periods, which will also prolong the session. Rest intervals between 2 exercises in a superset should be approximately 15 to 30 seconds, while rest intervals between consecutive reciprocal supersets should be between 2 to 3 minutes to allow for enough recovery while still being time efficient. And lastly, we have reps in reserve. Keeping your reps within 1 to 5 reps short of failure is a safe way to prevent early session burnout while still stimulating the muscle enough without sacrificing the volume of your exercises intra-workout or subsequent workouts later in the week. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you next time.